The nominations for this year's Oscars are out, and it was frustrating as usual.
Now I'm ready. I'm a little hurt my costume wasn't nominated again. Well, maybe next year. Denis Villeneuve and Eric Roth.
As part of our movie lovers, how much fun is this?
Well, this is the most fun I have ever had at 5:25 in the morning. Not Cruella. Denis Villeneuve.
8th grade track star, high honor roll student Courtney Anderson, who loves the entire Twilight movie series.
Ryusuke Hamaguchi, Drive My Car.
Leslie, you keep stealing all my lines.
So inspired by Chadwick Boseman, a Howard grad who was so committed to this university. And as you know, Chadwick was nominated last year for Best Actor, and we are so honored to announce the nominees in this category.
You're already dressed.
And now let's hear from professional.
Bring in Reese. Reese Feldman, if you are ready for us, we can go through the Best Picture nominees. We are bringing diversity to these announcements. I am Moderna.
And I am sparkling Pfizer.
Leslie, are you boosted?
Why, yes, Tracy, I'm sitting on a pillow.
Okay, joining us is another movie lover.
Anyway, there are always going to be films and people that miss out on major nominations. I kinda laugh when I see people suggest that there should be more than 5 nominees for certain categories, or that the Best Director category should be separated by gender, because then you essentially just start nominating people for the sake of being nominated. The idea is that it should be a prestigious event, and you don't get prestige when you nominate as many people as possible. I'm happy that the Best Picture category went back to 10 nominees, but in reality, there are significantly more than 10 great films every year. So, great films are always going to be snubbed. Nonetheless, here are my thoughts on the Best Picture nominees this year. I enjoyed Belfast. I thought it looked nice, and I found the concept of setting a simple slice-of-life style film through the eyes of a child during a time of great turmoil to be an interesting concept. Clearly something that Kenneth Branagh felt very passionate about making, and I'm glad he got to make the film he intended. I personally don't rate it as one of the 10 best films of the year, but it was a fine film. Belfast also has 7 nominations, which is surprising, but it's enjoyable enough. Thumbs up. I really liked this film. It's about a girl who grows up with deaf parents and a deaf sibling, though she has perfect hearing. It could be a little schmaltzy at times, but I liked the performances a lot, and the last act of the film I found to be pretty moving. It's received 3 nominations, and I'm surprised a film like this has been nominated for Best Picture. I guess this would be the first Apple TV Plus original film to get this recognition, for what it's worth. I also wouldn't call this one of the 10 best films of the year, though I enjoyed it. Thumbs up. I shouldn't be surprised by this nomination, I really shouldn't. It has no business being in this category, but when you overbloat your cast with this much star power, of course it was going to get the attention of the Academy voters. Adam McKay is interesting. Since his days of films like Anchorman, he's obviously branched out into work he finds more gratifying. I haven't seen much of Succession yet, but he has his fingerprints all over that as a producer on the series and director of the pilot, and everyone loves that show. The Big Short had some strange tonal issues, but I largely enjoyed that film. Vice was fairly divisive with people, but I mostly enjoyed that, and it was carried by a great performance from Christian Bale. I wanted to like Don't Look Up, due to the accuracy of some of what it was making fun of, but it completely lacks any subtlety and comes across as very smug and obnoxious as a result. This somehow has 4 nominations, though none of them are for acting, funnily enough. Though one of the awards it did get nominated for was Best Editing.
I actually like the junky taste of store-bought better than homemade.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me. No.
It's the same editor that McKay had used on Vice and The Big Short, Hank Corwin. This is clearly a collaborative effort, having worked together on 3 films now. I don't get it. Anyway, I kinda hated this film, and if it wins, yikes. Don't Look Up gets a thumbs down. From Japan, this is the lone international film that made the list. I won't go too much into what this film is specifically about, but essentially it's about how we communicate, no matter the language, both spoken and unspoken. It has a 3-hour runtime, which is intimidating. The opening titles don't even start until around 40 minutes into the film. I'll be shocked if it wins, but it also has a slight advantage as it's also about an actor and a theatre director, and the Academy are nothing if not biased towards films linked to their industry. It's got 4 nominations, and it's a given that it's winning Best International Film, since none of the other 4 got nominated for Best Picture, which is a shame. It's a great film and definitely one of my favourites of the year. Thumbs up. I loved Dune, a wonderful example of big spectacle filmmaking. This has been out for a while, so you already know if Dune is your thing or not. It was definitely my thing. Denis Villeneuve has quickly become one of my favourite directors. There's no chance it'll win Best Picture, but it's received 10 nominations, and I could easily see it being the film with the most wins on the night, in Mad Max Fury Road style. Thumbs up. Another one that I'm surprised has been considered one of the 10 best films of the year. A decent film carried by very good performances, in particular from Will Smith, who might have given a career best performance. Though maybe it's just because I've come to expect nothing special from him in recent years. He's had a slew of bad films, but he was clearly very passionate about making this one, even though the film basically idolizes a pretty insufferable man. A fine film, but also a very standard sports biopic. I loved this film. The film perfectly captures the feeling of being young and trying to find your purpose in life, while also having a crush and not being sure what to do with it. It's very charming. It's only got 3 nominations, and I'm disappointed that neither of the leads received acting nominations. This is probably my favourite film of the year. Big thumbs up. A film about greed and deception with a great haunting and gothic atmosphere that only Guillermo del Toro can create. Probably my favourite ending to a film this past year. It's a little slow at times, but once it gets rolling, it really gets rolling. It was definitely my type of film, but I also know it's not for everybody, though it's got 4 nominations. It's not quite The Shape of Water, but it does feel like that film's relative, which is the best way that I can put it. Thumbs up. I won't lie, I think everyone liked this more than me. Wonderful performances and atmosphere, but something felt lacking to me. I don't exactly know what it was. I actually got to see this in a cinema before it dropped on Netflix, which you'd think would have enhanced my experience. I am happy to see Kirsten Dunst and Jesse Plemons both got acting nominations. I hope they make history and be the first couple to win on the same night for the same film. Why not? I just don't have much to say about the film as a whole. It's leading the charge with 12 nominations, but it didn't connect with me the way it clearly did for others. However, I am giving it a thumbs up regardless. It is a very good film, just not my thing, I guess. I really liked this. A visual spectacle with great musical numbers and set pieces. I enjoyed all of the performances, except for Ansel Elgort. The real-life allegations against him aside, he felt the most miscast out of everyone. His singing was fine, but his performance was just bland, which hurts the believability between Tony and Maria's romance, which is the whole heart of the film. Anyway, in a year filled with multiple musicals, this was probably the best one I watched. Except for Inside, but most people probably aren't going to count that. There are far better Spielberg films, but this is probably his best film in a long time. Thumbs up. I'm disappointed by the lack of variety of films that get nominated. A film like 9 Days, a totally unique film and concept, was released in the middle of the year, instead of at the end of the year when the majority of the nominees were released. That's campaign strategy for you. When it comes to the acting categories, what has become very clear is that if you make a biopic about a famous actor, you are damn near guaranteed a nomination. I found Being the Ricardos to be entertaining, I guess. I didn't dislike the performances, but in what world was J.K. Simmons' performance in this film one of the best performances of the year? I love J.K. Simmons, but he has many performances throughout his career that deserve recognition above this one. My list of favourite acting performances from women this past year looks slightly different to the Academy's. Since the age and gender of the Academy voters sways older and male, including and especially in the acting branch, a film like The Worst Person in the World, a Norwegian coming-of-age comedy about a 30-year-old woman, probably didn't resonate with voters the same way Spencer or Being the Ricardos did. In a similar manner, a horror film like The Night House, where Rebecca Hall is in 95% of the frames of the film, will never get the same attention as a film about someone who existed in real life that voters recognize. Obviously, the same goes for a film like Titane, but a French extreme horror film is never going to get Academy Awards attention, and I don't know why any of us thought it might. I don't have many strong feelings about the rest of the categories. For Best Actor, my favourite performance was Andrew Garfield in Tick, Tick, Boom. Yes, I just said my spiel about biopics. I just thought Garfield gave a really great performance. The two most interesting categories to me are Best Production Design and Best Cinematography, where the same 5 films are nominated in each category. All 5 films are really solid choices, so that could go any way. And I did just want to point out, in Best Visual Effects, Marvel got its lone 2 nominations here, including for Spider-Man, which people were actually convinced was going to get a Best Picture nomination, which is hilarious. Cry me a river, Kevin Smith. But Free Guy was also nominated here. Free Guy. This is an Academy Award nominated film. Well, we'll see how that goes. They're going back to the Dolby Theatre, so hopefully it won't be as awkward as the ceremony last year. Hopefully it's a fun enough ceremony though. I'm currently working on my next Oscars video, and it's the 2014 ceremony. A winner of a ceremony, let me tell you. I've got a couple of videos lined up after that, so stay tuned. Thanks for watching.